Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9 says, "The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." That scripture is so true. There is nothing new under the sun. How the world is living today is exactly how the world was living back in the biblical times. In the days of Noah, there was violence, terrorism, all forms of immorality, and Nephilims. God's number one creation became so evil and perverted in the days of Noah that God felt bad about creating man. It talks about that in Genesis chapter 6, verses 5 through 7. And it says, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creepy thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them." That's pretty terrible that God felt bad about his number one creation because of how evil and perverted man became during those the times of Noah. And I think about today, because what was going on back in the days of Noah is happening now. Today there's violence all over the world. Every time you watch the news, you end up hearing about some kind of violence. Violence is all in the earth, and also extreme violence. That's on the increase. Some crazy psychotic person goes into some public place and starts, shooting people. Just randomly shooting people. There's crazy people out there, and also the government, is causing that as well. They're causing situations where extreme violence will end up happening and stuff, and it's all because they want more control of the people and stuff. So, violence is all in the earth. The next thing is terrorism. There's terrorists all over the place, all over the world, and there's terrorists that want to destroy America. There's terrorists here in America. But the number one terrorist is the government, and there's the government, it's nothing but sorry elected officials that are demonically controlled by Satan, and they're more concerned with controlling our lives than anything else. They're not for the people, they're against the people. They're all about control, control, control. They want to have God-like abilities, and the ultimate form of that is the mark of the beast in Revelation 13. So, it's interesting that the government, they call anybody who basically won't bow down and worship them, they call them terrorists. The number one group of people that they call terrorists are Christians, so they are the number one terrorists. But terrorism is definitely going on in this world. All forms of immorality. I think about fornication. People think that's normal. I think about adultery. People think that is normal. And now bestiality. That's something I've been hearing about more often. People having sex with animals. That is an abomination. And that's happening more often. And it's just people out there, just society. People just don't have morals, It's like all about bad behavior instead of good behavior, It's sad, but it's prophetic that is happening. And Nephilims. Now, back in the days of Noah, there was fallen angels, and they manifested into the natural realm and had sexual relations with human women, and had hybrid babies, half human, half fallen angel babies. And that's one of the reasons why God destroyed the earth with water, But so today, it may not be fallen angels, but now it's through technology. Now it's the manipulation of human and animal DNA, human clones, and human look-alike robots. And see, with those three things, demonic spirits, they can get into those three things, those half human, half animal creatures, human clones, and robots, that look like human beings, And it's an article that I read several days ago on Facebook, and it was talking about how there are people that want to have sex with robots. People that want to have sexual relations with robots. I mean, that's why I say, with robots along with human clones and half human, half animal creatures, that I believe is the modern day Nephilims. It has to be. It's got to be the modern day Nephilims. But yeah, that article was ridiculous. Wow. So that's how it is today. So it's clear that we are living in the days of Noah. Now, in the days of Lot, there was sexual perversion. Okay, in Sodom and Gomorrah, it was all about homosexual gang rape. Yeah, there were other sins that people were committing, but the number one sin was homosexual activity. Some stranger, a guy just happens to walk into the cities of Sodom or Gomorrah, and they, not knowing what the cities are all about, and they end up getting raped by a bunch of men, young men and old men. I mean, wow, the men were so twisted and perverted that when they saw the two angels that were with Lot, they wanted to have sex with the angels. That is just total perversion, okay? And you can read about that in Genesis chapter 19. That is just crazy, the sexual perversion that was going on. So when I think of today, it's the same thing. The sexual perversion all over, But now it's been transformed into same-sex marriage, and just so many people coming out of the closet and just telling the world that they're gay. I mean, keep that to yourself. I mean, why tell everybody that you're gay or that you're lesbian or bisexual or transgender or whatever? I mean, so what, I mean, but that's what's going on, and it's part of this homosexual agenda that's going on. When I think of that, this homosexual agenda, it's all about perversion, but it's also all about control. The first half is the LGBT community. They're flaunting their perversion, and they want acceptance from everybody that their lifestyle is normal, And the number one group of people that they are coming after are Christians. They want us to accept it as a normal behavior, but it's an abominable behavior, and I know I would never accept that, So that's the first half of this homosexual agenda. The second half is the government. They're using this agenda to have more control of the people. Like if a company that has Christian values, if they don't serve the LGBT community, then they could end up getting penalized. They can get fines, and they can even get sued. And so that's the government's way of having more control, because with them it's all about control. And I also believe that it's also about depopulation, because that's what the government wants, and they know that this homosexual agenda can help contribute to depopulating humanity. All right. Now Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah and Lot, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. how this world is living is exactly like the days of Noah and Lot. I mean, you can't justify it. You can't lie about it. You can't change it up. It is exactly like the days of Noah and Lot. There is nothing new under the sun.